Today, I'll be announcing that Canada is acquiring some new capabilities on an urgent basis for Canadian troops, which will be deployed with NATO in Latvia. First, I am announcing that Canada has finalized the procurement of an air defense capability for Canadian Armed Forces members in Latvia, and we are acquiring the RBS-70NG air defense system through an investment of approximately $227 million with Saab. Once operational, this air defense system will defend our troops against aerial threats, including fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters, and drones, and it will strengthen the defense capability of the battle group as a whole. Second, I am announcing that Canada has finalized the acquisition of new counter-drone equipment, which will enable Canadian soldiers in Latvia to detect and deter and defend against small drones that would seek to cause them harm. And through an investment of approximately $46 million, we're providing our troops with systems that can target, engage, and defeat these drones. We've also finalized contracts recently for anti-tank weapons on an urgent basis, as announced earlier in December. Our troops told us that they needed this equipment rapidly to give the changing security environment on NATO's eastern flank, and we expect that they'll have these tools in their hands later this year. We've designated all three procurements as urgent operational requirements. This is the first time that we've used this mechanism within our procurement legislation since the war in Afghanistan. This is defense procurement done differently, and it's one way that we are strengthening Canada's presence in Latvia. By 2026, we will more than double our military presence in Operation Reassurance with up to 2,200 deployed personnel. And I would conclude by reiterating that as a founding member of NATO, Canada steadfastly supports the principle of collective defense. And as we mark NATO's 75th anniversary, we are showing the world our capability, unity, and resolve. Thank you, and I'll happily take any questions you may have.
Air defense system, Canada give it to some country, but also you have a Canadian trip and soldiers in Erbil city, the capital of the Iraqi Kurdistan, and sometimes militia group they have been attacked.
We are, as always, concerned with this.
This is the time also to give the Kurdish authority or the Iraqi government to air defense system.
Yeah, we work very closely with our coalition partners. I'm always concerned about the safety of our personnel deployed around the world, including in Iraq, to make sure that they have the tools that are necessary. But we have NATO commitments in the defense of Latvia. Canada is leading the battle group in Latvia. We are ensuring that our soldiers and our alliance partners in that country will also be equipped with what is necessary to enable them to keep themselves safe, but also to defend our ally partner.
Minister, about steadfast defender, why is this maneuver so necessary, even though Russia is saying that this is aggressive?
Well, I think it's absolutely essential that we continue to work together, that we collaborate, and that we exercise our capabilities. Canada is deploying up to 1,000 troops in the steadfast defender, and we think that participating in these exercises is one way that we can demonstrate to the alliance and to the world and to our potential adversaries our steadfast support for NATO and also our ability to work collectively together.
Sir, one of the countries that also is joining in Latvia is Sweden, but the condition is that Sweden becomes a member of NATO.
We are very much looking forward to the ascension of Sweden into NATO. They are a valued partner, and we have entered into discussions. They will be deploying troops in Latvia. We very much look forward to working even more closely with that very valued allied partner.
You tell your Hungarian colleague that Hungary is holding this up.
And Canada was among the first nations to express its support for the ascension of Sweden into NATO, and I believe very strongly that all of the NATO partners understand the importance of that quick ascension, and we very much look forward to it.
Your response to Trump considering proposing a two-tiered NATO alliance, where Article 5 would only apply to nations that hit their defense spending targets?
I believe very strongly in the NATO alliance and our agreement, and I believe the collective defense that our alliance presents to protect every member of NATO is essential to the safety of Europe and to world peace.
There have been reports on Russian plans to deploy space-based nuclear weapons. What can you tell us about this and a possible reaction of NATO?
Well, it's a matter of concern, obviously, but there'll be other discussions on that. I expect even further today.
If we are talking about burden sharing, to what extent are NATO allies ready to step up when there's less American support?
Well, I can tell you we have seen over the past 2 years a significant increase in all NATO members stepping up. I've also expressed the opinion Canada must and will do more. Thank you all very much. Have a good morning.